Hello and welcome to this new episode of the lounge. You can see lots of new faces today with us. I mean, not new faces to the Excel World Championship scene, but new to the lounge. So welcome Ashley, welcome Gabe. We will need to discuss about it. Welcome Alexander, and welcome also Julian and Benny. Great to have you back. Right, how are you guys? Hope everything is going well with this first 2 months of 2026. February is already ended. We had a lot of events. We had the February MEWC round, we had Brazil round, we had the Mega-Elimination. Uh, March is incoming with the UK battle and new battles for the World Championship itself, and the EO are approaching. So a lot of interesting topics. But shall I talk about what Ashley asked before going live, because it is actually very close to the EO, and apparently there has been no discussion about the teams in terms of teams relay and mixed doubles. So, are you guys on a team? You're not. You're still searching for someone.
I mean, nothing is confirmed yet. Let's say it that way, because we don't know in what competition we are going to appear. But I can say I filled out the form, and I have hypothetical team partners for both team events. Let's formulate it that way. And I have no idea if we are like encouraged to say in what teams we are at this moment. So I don't know if Ashley, do you have any announcements?
No, God, no. My thing was, I was telling Renzo this morning, it dawned on me. I was like, shit, people haven't been talking about what teams they've formed for either game. So it's like, wait, maybe it's intentional. Maybe there's game theory or strategy involved here. I don't know, something. So I was just posing the question.
Are you on a team, Ashley, for the mixed doubles and the relay? It's called relay team, or whatever the other format is.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Yes, both.
Interesting. But you cannot say who is your partner or your partners.
I have not discussed that with the other person, so I don't think it's my information to share at this point. But if we'll leave it at that.
I mean, we can kind of share all the things, so then it's out, and everybody knows. At least from us six, I don't know if Alexander and Gabe are coming to Amsterdam.
Yeah, I have a ticket, but I'm not fully locked in on the flight yet. So I am prospectively joining, but a little bit TBD. But either way, it looks like it's going to be a really fun time with all the different formats. Yeah, makes sense to try and be figuring that stuff out now. It's going to come up quick.
So I'm assuming you don't have a team at the moment.
So I don't have a team at the moment. Yeah. So if my later decision means that I'm in the Mega-Elimination pool instead of the mixed doubles event, then so be it there. Though I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more shortly as well.
All right, Gabe, do we have a team? You are you planning to? All right.
I won't be able to attend. I planned my year and my vacations all around Vegas. So I'm trying to go to Vegas, but I won't be able to attend. But one of the first things that I asked was if there will be online participation because I want to watch these formats. And I always drop in the Brazilian chat that we should have this same formats, or at least one of them, in the finals. So I'm starting a campaign that we can also experiment that, because I think they'll be very exciting.
Yeah. Julian, do you have a team? Can you say more about the team?
Yes, I have a team. I have a good team. I'm the worst person in the team. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say my team members. And I don't have a partner for mixed doubles, so I will hopefully join the Mega-Elimination and with my beautiful team win then the team relay. I think team relay.
Okay, hold please, because if you're saying you're the worst person on your team, that's pretty goddamn terrifying. Like, just saying.
Yeah, like this tactics of not revealing too much about the teams. I'm on a team as well. I just asked my teammates if we're gonna reveal this to the public Okay, one person said we can say that to the world. I'm just waiting for the second person to reveal that. I don't have a partner for the mixed doubles, so still looking for someone. Even if I'm not sure we can play, all people can play all the formats. So I put already Mega-Elimination and the team as second preference. So yeah, we will have to see. And yesterday, actually, we had a first test, can we say that, of the Mega-Elimination, where all of us tried it, I think. Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
So let's have a roundtable discussion. I'm going Ashley first, to my right. Ashley, 30 seconds, your feedback. What went well? What can be done better? Conscious that, was a very...
Yeah. So I think in our WhatsApp chat, a couple of people brought up really good points. One was definitely the nature of not knowing where you fell in the chopping block, if you will. So just, some sort of audible feedback or something else that was not just one line off to my right, where I see out of the corner of my eye going, you're next to be eliminated. And you're like, oh shit, that sort of thing. So, but other than that, I thought I don't like hard cases, so that didn't help. But it was a fun new format and it changed things up a bit. I liked it personally.
Gabe, you're next to the right of Ashley.
Well, I like the format. The one thing that I would improve would be like 5 minutes in, or let's say 11 minutes for the first elimination. 10 minutes in, I would not count the people that didn't show up, that were with 0 points without actually downloading the case or something like that, and don't count them for eliminations. So we can have a way to see who's actually playing. But I like the formats. I'm not good with cards and these gameplays, player 1, player 2. It's not a strength of mine. But I had fun with the format, and it was exciting to see you're next. So let's do something.
Julian?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
so-
Let's go the round that way.
Yeah,
I
and
said
so I
not
also
last
don't like. Sorry.
Go ahead, David.
So I'm also a person who don't like card cases, and therefore also since I tried them for I think 10 minutes or so level 4 without getting eliminated, I thought, okay, I drop out. I tested then one of the Dach cases, and I think also hugely playing into the elimination format is also the case format. So do you have huge jumps? Can you do something like the bonuses if you cannot solve the level and so on? So I think with elimination formats, and especially with such a power elimination, Mega-Elimination, I think the case format is even more important than with regular rounds. So yeah, take a look at that, because I think at a certain point a lot of people were queued for elimination. So yeah, that's what. But it was fun. So let's see how it will be in Amsterdam.
Yeah, agree. And by the way, seems like the first elimination was done at 21 minutes in, so I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. It was supposed to be 11 minutes, right?
I think because all of the people were tied, they were like postponed until all of them were eliminated
right.
at the same time. At the same time, which was like 10 minutes or like 10 and a half minutes.
And all these people with 0 points, they were counted for elimination. So the tie was until 21 minutes and 31 seconds.
Yeah. That gave a extra time for everyone, because I think at some point everyone was basically done with levels 1 to 3 and maybe bonus 1, and that was the hard time to get level 4, which I got, but for some reason didn't get any points because of, I think, the space between the player and the whatever was the number. So I think that was same thing for almost everyone.
Yeah, it was same for me. I mean, I finished third in the end, which I'm pretty proud of, or like happy. But in the end, I think I was pretty fast on like the first 3 levels, and then decided to do bonus, but as I've written in the WhatsApp community already, when I read the bonus one, I decided I have I'm not interested and I don't want to do this bonus one, like calculating. So I decided, let's just guess each of the answers. And while guessing each of the answers, I decided to input them all for the other bonuses. So I was the first one to get bonus 4, which was also like any player of the 4 to try to answer. Just by pure guessing, and I agree that this is not like the best way of getting points, but if it works, it works. And then for level 4, it took me ages to figure out, and I think one person in the chat writing that you need to include a space between a player to get the points for this. But to be fair, with my solution and debugging my solution, I already definitely had like 5 different errors that I found between my first solution and my final solution, which got me at least 95% and the ability to score bonus 2. But so it's kind of difficult to figure out kind of the case and how good like everybody really was, because of like this big issue with level 4 and the huge amount of guessing.
Yeah, no, Jack, by the way, was the person below me. Not sure how, to be honest. So I'm guessing that was a guess. I think that the case was not intended to be designed for this event. So it was like a free case developed by Karim, and then they decided to use that as a test. So don't think we can, let's say, do any complaint about that. Oh, so sorry. There is Jeremy waiting in the lobby. Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Hey.
Just noting the point. And my experience was like I was probably the first 5 people with level 3 done, and then went into solving level 4. Then I looked again at the scoreboard, and I was like 40th. So I say, what the hell is going on? And I noticed everyone that's like 30% level 4, level 5, 10% level 6, 5% level 7. Okay, let's throw some run betweens just to not be out of the game too early. And I think that was true for almost everyone. Alexander, what was your experience? Do you see any other improvements point for this?
Yeah, I mean, very similar to a lot of what you guys are saying. It's really fun to try a different format, switch it up like that. I think this Mega-Elimination format is very spectator friendly, very similar to the regular elimination format that goes on in Vegas. Having this, for folks just seeing like people who get too far away being knocked out, and then you have more focus on the leaders, that does help spectators kind of follow along and see where that's going, and is a cool part about it. It is also frustrating as a competitor, because especially if you feel like in a case like this where there's game logic and you might spend a lot of time trying to process, okay, what are all these mechanics that you need to get in there? And you try to build a very good model to capture all of those. In something like this where there is a bit of a difficulty cliff at level 4, it takes a while to get all that logic in place, and maybe folks with a partial model will get some of that level 4 correct and be able to move on a little bit quicker. And in this, like you were saying, Lorenzo, you look across the leaderboard and really getting some partial credit for all these answers. And I know in a lot of cases it was just putting guesses in as well is the differentiator. And so that comes into play a little bit more so in the elimination rounds here. Also, just want to take a moment to say that when we were in Vegas, I heard someone commenting how good Michael Jarman is at game cases. And this is another perfect example of that, where this is just his kind of case.
Yeah, I think so. Jeremy, were you in the Mega-Elimination yesterday, or you were one of the case testers? No, okay, you were in. What was your experience?
I liked it. It was an exciting kind of format. I think like the others, I didn't really know where I was at any given moment. I just said you're safe, and then all of a sudden you're eliminated. So I think some kind of like audio cue would be good. Some kind of countdown or alert or something. Maybe not like too stressful one, but just some kind of heads up that, hey, you're on the chopping block.
Yeah, that might be a bit stressful to be fair, but I see your point, because you're basically solving on your own, and you're out. Sorry. and that's not the best experience. But I think it was a very good format to make it extremely spectator friendly in Amsterdam. I think they should have like the full scoreboard on screen. Otherwise, you lose a bit of the drama and the action. But yeah, I will be happy to have another one. Conscious that the case design, needs to be specific for this. So we need a hard case / a long case, eventually with unrelated levels that does not allow guessing. So there's a lot of requirements to make it work, which is a bit complex.
There was so much reading yesterday, and I know we all like the reading comprehension thing will get us all, but it's like, I don't know, especially with a case like that. My downfall is and always will be the ability to comprehend what it is that's being asked and get it out of my head and onto the grid in a faster time. Like that's what slows me down every single time. And when you have that many levels and that much reading to do with them, you kind of skip ahead to go, okay, if I can't get this one right away, I'll jump to this one. And then you just frustrate yourself. And then you've got the timer going too. So it really did it was a very different mindset. But I think you got to have a case that is, to the point that people said, either more levels that are unrelated or less reading, not just because none of us like reading, but because it is more spectator friendly. And, everybody, there was a definite plateau, where there wasn't a lot of action going on. And I think that had to do with the format.
Or even two unrelated cases. So, for example, for the DACH final, we had like a case where we had a map case and a data case. It was both about the same topic, but two completely unrelated techniques. So if you're not able to or get stuck at a certain point, then you can jump to the other case. And this would be also great for some elimination format stuff because you have to go forward to not get eliminated. So.
Yeah, that's what, especially when you get into the later rounds in the year too. That's one thing I've always thought that it would be cool if a case could incorporate, because it really should be a showcase of a multitude of skill sets at that point, right? Like you've made it through the year, you've done the RTLV rounds, like the last games, you should have to combine every piece of your skill set in a case to be able to win and go on from there too, right? Like just that different mix of things would be cool.
Yeah, but I think even if you're probably your best, it's very hard to win because look at the last Road to Las Vegas battle. Basically, I don't know, 35-ish people doing basically the same thing. Probably some of them actually trying to crack level 7 in time, which to be fair, I didn't do. And then all of us were there and came down to a few round betweens or guesses or whatever / time. So I think it's very hard to win. And so I think it was the very first ever win for a Brazilian person in a Road to Las Vegas event. Gabi, did you have like fireworks during the carnival? Did you have any action in the Brazilian community?
Yes, it was. We were very happy. Like the prior week, we had the first gold medal in the Winter Olympics for a Brazilian as well. And I was like, come on, I want to post both the Brazilian, it's not a skier, it's the Brazilian athlete and Washington on LinkedIn and say that Brazil is amazing. So we were very happy. But as you said, it was like, okay, he could go all through level 6. I didn't do level 6. But level 7, he guessed right the 3 first questions, which had tips, and then 2 questions because he like put the same value in all of them. But of course, we were very happy. He was first, and even without the guesses, he would be like top 8 or top 10, which wouldn't be a first, but it would be a great result as well. But yes, there were fireworks in our community.
I love the comparison with the first Brazilian gold medal in the Winter Olympics and the first Road to Las Vegas win. Both incredible feats. Nice job, Washington.
And like because I track like small stats compared to Ashley on like the Road to Las Vegas events. In the last 2 years, in 2024 and 2025, we had in both years 2 wins that were not Andrew and or Dim. And this year we already had like 2 wins that were not Andrew and Dim. So maybe we are going to see.
But to be fair, the first case was
that's
Dim,
completely
so...
fair. But Andrew still competed. So the other potential winner was still in the competition, and neither of them won also the second battle. And to be fair, last year the battle that Dim didn't win was one of them was because he competed in Google Sheets. So that's kind of a fair comparison to being the case alpha.
So Benny, what's your prediction? Who's gonna win the Road to Las Vegas ranking this year?
I think still Dim.
Okay, so
I don't think he's not. I don't think he. Yeah, I really think he's going to win. It's still. I mean, he was the case alpha. I mean, yeah, of course, Julian. I have to say, Team Dach.
Yes.
Team Dach. Shaw is going to win. I'm going to be second. Julian is going to be third. And we are going to win MEWC, European Open, and MECC. Both European Open and finals.
Nothing more.
Okay.
Rolling for a hat. We're going for a hat trick here. This is wow. This is epic.
Everything will be won by Team Dach. That's what Julian wants me to say.
You heard it here first,
And you,
people.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
So you
Ben,
heard it first by Julian on a LinkedIn comment. So it's the second time this gets a comment.
Damn it, Benny.
yeah, Gene is impressive. He's holding that top spot right now across the world rankings from the first 2 cases, and Benny, you're right there in second behind him. So
I know.
Strong showing. Congratulations on holding that one.
I know. I mean, last year it was like the online season for me was also pretty good last year, but then like Vegas was a disappointment. I think we can call it that way. And the year before it was kind of the opposite. The online season was okay-ish, but not perfect. But then Vegas was really good. So hopefully this year both is good, but you never know.
Yeah, but the season is long, so let's see for a great Dim comeback at round 3. Probably we need to watch out, I think, because case designer first battle, a bit of a, let's say, non-top performance in battle 2, even if I think it was still strong because people like ranking in the 50s still had basically everything done except one bonus question, so it's still a very good performance. So I'm sure there will be some strong comeback. But
well, we know it's going to be a Peter Charles case. It has to, like, statistically speaking.
You have the full statistics.
There has not been a year since 2021. I believe.
Do you want to share it? You can share your screen if you want.
Oh, I don't have it up, but I can pull it. He by the 3rd round, there has always been a Peter Charles case for the past 5 years.
That's a pretty strong statistic.
Good leading indicator.
Well, I usually do quite good on Peter Charles cases, except the one which was done.
Wasn't last year like the first 3 cases the Harry cases, all 3?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So it must be like 4th battle would then be Peter.
Because it was the.
It was
Harry
like
Gross
Harry
cases.
Gross,
Yeah, then
Harry Watson, Harry Siders.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, let's wait for Ashley to show us the statistics. And yeah, so I think it was a bit of a shame because the case was great. Yeah, you have it.
You're right, Benny. Yeah, last year was the only year actually. Now that in 2020. Okay, so yeah. Oh God, this is scary for me to share. Let's see.
Could it be like a Harry Siders case was always in the top first 3? I think this. I've like this is just pure guessing. Feeling is the best data, like my fantasy team is called.
Let's. Oh.
Yeah, I just need to share your window and then I will put it on screen. So
Yeah, with all the new case authors as well, I'd imagine they have an even bigger bank to choose from. But I mean, Peter just always making very friendly and fun cases definitely makes him a good contender to come early in the season.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see.
What's this tool, by the way? Don't recognize it.
Yeah, so it's called Airtable. Basically, it's think of it like a spreadsheet, but forced data types. So in a certain view I have here, like my list that I work from is one where I can actually, so here, this column, I actually embed a copy of the case file right in here. So when I want to practice, I'm filtering by a map or text or games, and then I don't have to search for it in my own file system. I can just go right here and download it and then play from here. So I'm oh, weird. I picked a Peter case. So it just keeps everything a lot more organized for me. And then I keep if I had a superpower, like I would be the curator, if you will. I think Dim's made that comment before. Like that is, I guess, my superpower in that way. But yeah, this is just my way of keeping everything all together and organized and labeled and all that good stuff. And I can share it too. I think I've shared it with a couple people, but so
you're getting some endorsements from the chat.
Nice.
Jack is enthusiastic about your spreadsheet. Yeah, it looks very good, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
I
very
should
nice.
go by. We need a master event name.
But from like just looking at the homepage, I think it's Harry Siders who had like the last 2 years the third case, and the year before it was the second case. It was like Bear Island. So I think from like the statistics that I just looked up, it's very likely to have a Harry Siders case next one.
Yeah,
it's also great.
Maybe.
All right, so everybody start practicing your Harry cases and your Peter cases.
Harry or Peter, yep, exactly. So yeah, 2023 we had, holy crap, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Peter cases. 2024 we had a dual author, Klinsman and Peter, on that was in the Brazilian circuit. Cruz, fun.
I played that case and I went to the final because of it, so I really like this case.
That's awesome. It's actually one I don't think I've done. I had a fun thought this morning too, where I was like, okay, I think I have 74 days until I leave for London. It's like, I should make it a goal to do every single case before then. I'd have to do a little more than 2 cases per day, but I was like, that'd be a good way to practice and something to,
Wait, all cases? You mean all of the cases available in MEWC World, or
on the platform? Yeah,
that'd be a great way to practice.
Yeah, there's 176 of them right now. I was like, that's doable.
Yeah, takes a lot of consistency and effort.
You'll be in great shape if you do
that. Yeah. So I will walk my comments back. Last year we didn't have a Peter case until round 7, so my bad.
Hey, Ari says Andrew G case next. So pretty bold prediction, but actually Andrew G seems like he wants to play rather than
yeah, I noticed that too, which is cool.
Yeah, so I'm not sure we're gonna see his case. Also, I saw like a person in the Mega-Elimination yesterday, I think, was with the Latvian flag, and it was called what was it? Did you see it? I think it's no longer in the rankings, but I saw that at some point, and it was called like the Grandmaster or something like that.
That sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
It must be him.
Godfather with Latvian flag. Actually didn't participate because he was out at 0 points. So, but seems
I like that theory.
He is in the Rising Star category, so keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Which is so funny.
So prediction is Harry Siders or Peter or Andrew G. Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, I mean, Ashley can probably say that number pretty fast, but how many of all of the past cases are from either one of those three? Because I think there's, I like most of the, I mean, at least Andrew G is like one of the, like from all of the old cases, and also I think Harry Siders and Peter Schall for like the first season were like the case authors for all of the battles, or almost all of them.
Now it's bothering me, and I have to find, because I remember that day that I did the trivia in the WhatsApp chat where it was like, who did this when and how many have done by this case author, and who, like, I summarized all this so that it was a lot easier to see, and now it's going to bother me if I don't find it. So yeah.
But where are you, Ashley, in the training journey to do all the cases?
Oh, I just had that
Case
thought
one.
this morning. I
Okay, so it's
haven't
still in the wish
I haven't
list.
actually committed. I haven't committed. But now that it's in my head, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it out. So maybe we'll see. And okay, so I can't say I can't say too much without giving away teammates and or partners for the events, but I'll put it this way. I gotta get my shit together, guys. Like, I will not be the reason that I embarrass the people that are on my teams. So, yeah, it has lit a fire, if you will, because yes, I will not be the reason that we lose. So yes, and that's all I'm
Your
saying.
team is Andrew and Dim or something like that.
I will say the only thing that I will say is that for the relay team, my team is all female. Fun fact.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Alexander, you did that before Vegas, if I'm not wrong, or at least almost all the cases, to do like this massive training effort to be up to speed. Do I remember right?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of was my strategy before Vegas. Yeah, I mean, last year was my first full season competing after just kind of coming on and discovering it really at the very end of 2024. So last year, first full season doing it, started off the year pretty slow. And then, yeah, leading up to Vegas, I really wanted to kind of just go through all the cases that I could, at least, the last 2 years of the main competitions and all the Vegas cases from the year before. And Lorenzo, ahead of Vegas, you were also talking about, not just going through all of them, but spending more time and like trying to figure out how to do them better. And that was similarly how I was kind of approaching it too. I really wasn't even kind of using lambdas during the season as much last year. And I kind of was learning just like a lot more. I was kind of a career consultant. And so I had to unlearn a lot of my bad habits and relearn how to properly use Excel and some of the formulas and things that I used to do manually. So yeah, going through all the cases, huge benefit.
Yeah, I think especially at the beginning, it really pays off. Then of course there are diminishing returns after you've done probably, I don't know, too many times. I remember probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I used to do like the cases like 5 to 10 times because we didn't have so many cases. So it ended up like repeating all over again. Now to do like a full iteration of all the cases, I have like 230 my trackers. So it will require 3/4 of a year if we do once per day. So yeah, it's a lot of effort, and it's getting bigger and bigger thanks to escape velocity, which I think is a term who Jeremy invented for this purpose. Jeremy, are you coming to the European Open? And if yes, are you on a team? And if yes, can you say more?
I am coming. I
All right.
am on a team, and I don't have a problem disclosing, but I don't have permission from the others, so I'll just stay quiet for now.
Yeah, I think we're all the same at this moment. I can say one of my teammates is from the US, so I will give away this small hint. I mean, that there might be probably 30 candidates, so it's not something which is so relevant, but at least I gave the very first hint, so that's it. But I see you guys are not willing to give away too much, so yeah, let's keep up with the chat. I think learn techniques by going over past cases, but to learn how to react under pressure, you need fresh experiences. Agree. And I think it's also a very good point to point out the game that Harry put together, which I must admit I didn't play yet, so I'm guilty, and I will need to keep up with that. But yeah, I think it's a really good way to expose yourself to different problems.
Yeah, I agree with like Harry's comments,
Yeah.
and I also tried or started with like the last Road to Las Vegas, with like the last Road to Las Vegas case to record my my live attempts. I think something that especially Lawrence you already do, and to watch like the live attempts afterwards and try to figure out how do I react under pressure and under kind of the things, and to kind of see if I'm like misreading something or what like my errors in like a live attempt real circumstances are, or what well like the improvements there are. So more going into like a video analysis instead of like a case analysis moving forward from like training perspective.
So
I
you
like
record
that
your
idea of
attempt and
recording.
you.
Go ahead, Lorenzo.
No, I was just asking if you, Benny, do you record your attempt and you look at it after to see what went well and what didn't? I used
Yeah.
to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you did it for like the last Road to Las Vegas battle. I think you uploaded it even.
Yeah, I've been doing that for probably 2 years without publishing the video. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just started now. I was like, I didn't know if it would be like useful for my PC in terms of performance, and on the other side, I wasn't sure if it really benefits me a lot, but I think it could benefit a bit, and from like the first Road to Las Vegas battle, and also from recording the MVCC case, I think it was like useful or is useful. So I will continue doing this, and hopefully get some insights into where I can improve myself.
Hey Benny, you've been
I'm
off to a
going to
really
try-
strong
Right.
start here. I mean, I'm sure people would be interested to see if you ever posted some of those.
I mean, first of all, two of the so both of my live solves for MVCC and the Road to Las Vegas are on YouTube, but they're just unlisted, so I could just unlist them or list them. But my kind of issue is there would be like Julian Lacasse's live solves, which are like him doing the case while mumbling something in French that nobody understands. It would be exactly the same for me. It's just something and me mumbling in the background something in German that nobody would understand. So I'm thinking of like publishing them or like reacting to them kind of in the way Lorenzo does. So maybe if I find the time afterwards, after a battle, I will publish them in a sense of way. But yeah, for now, I'm sticking with my one YouTube video a year of how to solve the MECC finals case, which was my only YouTube video for the past 2 years.
I think it's a great idea. I tried to do videos like not live attempts, attempts after the round's finished, and I started getting nervous, and it didn't go anywhere. So maybe I think it's a good idea to record the live attempts. I don't know if I want to record my microphone because there will be some mumbling and some not so good words in Portuguese sometimes. But I can record my screen and react to it later. It's a good idea. I'll try to do that in the next battle.
I mean, I think for yourself, I think the mumbling is really also insightful because it kind of tells you what was the mental state in this situation and what we're thinking. And also afterwards, you can process your thoughts and say, oh, this went well and this didn't went well. And I should have thought more into this or something like that. So I think for like a training perspective, recording also the audio and your mumbling could be useful.
I'm super paranoid that like my computer will freeze up if I start recording. I know that it happens on probably about 5% of the time when I'm doing my YouTube videos, so I don't really want to take that gamble.
Yeah, either you're very sure about your hardware and it's not gonna freeze, or yeah, will probably not take the risk. I think mine is doing fine. I have more problems with Excel itself rather than the OBS software or whatever. So I don't think it's causing me any slowness or issues. I was actually wondering, and I'm curious to know what you think. I think since Dim started to post his live attempts, I mean, he always posts them, but at some point he started recording like during the battle. And I'm wondering whether the fact that he has to kind of say a bit of his thinking process out loud is like benefiting him from the like doing stupid mistakes or overlooking stuff, because you see what I mean? You still have to give a bit of context. Of course, you cannot talk too much during the live solve as you will do like in a walkthrough, but still you have to give that minimal information that keeps you focused and probably avoids committing stupid mistakes or design choices. So I'm wondering whether he's actually benefiting from that, because at some point he really stopped like committing errors in cases which sometimes, very rarely, he did, and now he's not doing anymore. So what do you think?
Yeah, how do we get him to commit more errors?
Sorry, say again.
I'm also wondering, how do we get him to commit more errors? That would be beneficial to us.
He isn't allowed to record his live attempts anymore. Maybe he makes more errors this way. Maybe this was the reason he didn't win in Vegas for the first 3 years, because he wasn't recording his live attempts.
I mean, they say the same thing about like people who have to get better about public speaking or anything of that nature too. Even like in show business, like actors watching themselves, or like it forces a different part of your brain to like recognize your little mannerisms, the things that you do. And I don't know. I think I need that, but except for my problem is my brain goes in 3 different directions for things. And then I get stuck going, shit, if I start that one and I screw it up, I'm not gonna have enough time. So like I have a hard time picking a path and committing to it. So I need somebody to force me to talk out loud and for them to go, you did this, you should have done this instead. Like I'm not even joking, guys. Like I've honestly thought about paying somebody to be my coach. Like I'm not like, it's a strategic move, right? Like I've been playing for years. I know what my faults are. The aspect of like, there's only so much I can practice with speed, and you can only memorize so many formulas and build so many lambdas, where there's that aspect of it that I can't do myself. And I know that, and I need somebody to like get me to think in different ways about things. So yeah, that's another thing on apparently my to-do list.
It totally makes sense, to be honest, because it's really hard to train yourself, because it's very difficult to see, even if you know what are your areas of improvements, it's really hard to actually figure them out like during the solve, or see maybe things that you don't notice or whatever. So there are like coaches in chess or other mental esports, so it will totally make sense. Maybe it's a new word that we will develop in the future. So I think no one actually does that, or at least as I'm aware. I know there are some like training groups of people training together. Not sure if that qualifies under proper coaching. Maybe we could see that in the future. Who knows? If this thing gets bigger and the prize pool grows, maybe.
If anybody's interested, I am first student right here. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, maybe another benefit of Dim having posted all of his videos, when I was first getting his, yours, Lorenzo, Hayden's, were just really great ways to learn. But also, everyone's also adding their own comments and 2 cents under it as things that he could also consider, or different ways to approach one little part of it. So, posting those opens you up to some pretty public coaching. I also recorded my first 2 live solves of this year, and honestly, like kind of risky, because I don't usually record practice. Yeah, exactly. We went back to Trophy versus Bell, and there's like a meme of me just like doing it, and like really thinking about it. But yeah, it was good for me to even just like go back and like rewatch, and I'm like, wow, I spent a lot of time looking over here or doing something really inefficiently, and now that part has like stuck in my head the last 2 weeks, so I'll do it differently next time. And I'm probably not going to post those, even though Benny, I encourage you. But maybe if I keep recording and have a really good result, I will put it out there.
Yeah, when I watch myself after the case, it's very painful because I'm very, very slow. So I'm like, what am I waiting for? But I think it's very hard to recreate the vibes, the sensations of the real thing, because I mean it's different, right? So we all know that very well. And it's not the same thing if you do that after. And even if you watch your video, yes, of course, it's useful because you can spot like, okay, I should have done this, or I've lost time here. But I mean, to recreate those conditions, to me, it's impossible. Even if like we do a new case, but without having any skin in the game, so like a friendly case or a private battle, it's not the same thing. So it's very difficult.
Even if I compete in a different local chapter, it's something different. If I compete in like the Brazil local chapter, or for that matter, I haven't competed in like the Dutch local chapter, so it's like something completely different competing in a local chapter or also in the MECC. I mean, sometimes there's something to win there, but it's something completely different competing there versus competing in a Road to Las Vegas event.
Yeah.
Or an MEWC round for that matter.
It's funny because as I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, you know what the reason for all of that is too, you guys, right? Is like, it's like a first impression. You never get a second chance at a first impression. Yeah. You can only comprehend the reading portion of it the first time you read it. The second time you read it, you already know what you're reading. So that's a huge piece of it.
Well, speaking of the Brazilian chapter, it's becoming freaking hard because it's like I don't know, same level of difficulty of the Road to Las Vegas, same level of competition basically, because everyone is taking part. So it's a freaking hard tournament to playing, and I think it will be probably the same for the other local chapters, because with some of them being free for everyone, or having people willing to play whatever the cost is, like me, the level is increasing also in the local chapter themselves. So we did,
I think we will see round,
like it was a brutal competition in the top 10, like it was the MEWC. So
I mean, I think we will see a huge and a really close battle next week with like the first UK battle that's like collaboration with different local chapters, because I don't know if you know this or if this is like already everything communicated, but this is like a community battle or a collaboration between like the different local chapters. Yeah. So each of the local chapters is going to take part. So it's like a 24-hour battle. So it's like no excuses for time zones. And everybody is going to participate, and I think this will be like something completely different, close to a local chapter. And I also think the case is pretty good. Me and Julian both tested him already, so we are not going to compete, but we are not going to tell you anything.
Wait, so can you talk more about that, Benny, about the 24-hour thing? Because in my head, I have the mental model of FMWC where I have 48 hours to do it, but once I start it, I only have 2 hours to complete it. So is that the same concept here, where you have a 24-hour window? But okay.
Yeah, it's more or less the same concept. It will start at like midnight London time next Saturday, and you have 24 hours. And as soon as you start, you have 30 minutes time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can see the calendar is pretty packed with events, and actually we should have like the South Africa. I think they didn't announce the schedule. MEWC Chile, same. There are rumors around MEWC, I think Australia, New Zealand to be launched, and we also have the Madagascar one, which I forgot. So
what about MEWC America?
Oh, do you want to say something, or is it just a wish?
Jeremy.
Oh,
And then he goes off camera. Oh.
is
big
this a live
announcement.
announcement or what?
No, yeah, no, I'm just poking the bear here. It came up in passing, like brief murmurs of it when we were in Utah after Vegas, and I sort of poked up and I went, "What's happening?" And then, of course, as I am wont to do, wouldn't shut up about it. And I think Jeremy wanted to slap me at one point, but it's okay. But I think it'd be cool. It's funny that we don't have one, to be honest. So
Yeah.
You were all familiar with this like wave of passion and enthusiasm that happens when you all meet together in Vegas, and riding some of those emotions. I think several of the Americans are like, why don't we have our own chapter? Let's create our own chapter. And then we're drinking beer after the event's over and getting a little inebriated, and all of a sudden, there's definitely an American chapter starting. But thus far, I think we've been, I don't know, a little bit nervous or hesitant to start given the commitment involved, and perhaps that's still underway, but right now there's no immediate plan.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I mean, that started the kind of same way. It was like Shaw telling to me the 2024 in Vegas, Benny, you have written already one case for MEWC. Why don't you do something? And so this kind of started.
Why don't you create a local chapter for me?
Yeah, why don't you just do something more for the community in like the German-speaking region? And I decided, okay, let's start a local chapter. So that's how it started.
Yeah, I'll say there was so much interest in talking about it in Vegas, Jeremy. I think the community is kind of there, and if someone wants to emerge and take the reins with that one, there's going to be a lot of support from other people who would also love to see that get set up, see a US or even North America champion be crowned. So, if anyone has any inkling of wanting to do that, I would encourage you to maybe reach out to Jeremy.
I think we have like 10 potential VPs and no presidents. Like,
is that because, I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but it's because of the effort, or because it's complex to do that cross states, or for other reasons?
I don't think the size of the states matters as much, but the complexity of the effort involved, the commitment involved, and then also just the desire to like do it really well. Like, if I start a chapter, I want it to be the best chapter, and perfection always kills me like that. So I don't know.
I think that the US chapter would have probably the biggest potential also in terms of A, participation, and B, getting some serious funding, because of there's a lot of companies probably interested in investing in a local chapter in the US. So maybe it's an incentive for you guys to start. I don't know.
I mean, if Brazil is willing to license it for free to another chapter, their
the
platform,
Brazil website's so sweet.
I think, and that is a huge part of it, right? Is the maintenance, the scoring, the case development. I think is where if you got the fundamentals and like the logistical pieces out of the way of actually having the platform, I think it really opens up the freedom for the chapter to spend more of the time making itself better because of the cases and the subscription for the people who participate and things like that too. But I think, at least to me, that is a very big mental hurdle, is just the nature of facilitating actually playing the games and the scoring and the maintenance and things that are involved there.
Yeah, I think there's so much existing materials and all these other local chapters exist. There's also the FMWC website itself and Play Esports, the website there that maybe the US chapter could start by leveraging that and just hosting official games there. I think there'd be so much interest that tons of people would sign up. And that could, at least to start, be the first way of getting some dollars in to sponsor having a champion go to Vegas on the chapter's victory, by winning that one. Maybe even just starting it up would give the momentum to then go out and set up a bigger chapter with in-person finals, and maybe even doing something virtually could be a good way to do it. Again, we need someone to kind of organize it, drive it, tie it all together. But I think there's so many really good existing resources here in the broader community that it's definitely possible.
So shall we commit to a 2027 US chapter at this point? Let's commit during this launch to this effort. I'm joking, of course, but that will be great to have, to be honest. Also, expectation wise, I thought it would be the first one to be set up, and instead, yeah, probably complexity and lots of potential people.
Well, and I also think you look at the incentives, perhaps, of why individuals started local chapters, and it may be to incentivize people from their own country to join this sport. And I feel like we have an inherent advantage of starting in Vegas, having the competitions here already. We have the largest number of competitors by count, and so there's that as well. But maybe someday.
Okay, I'll volunteer now to head it up as president if we can agree to do the pre-Vegas in-person US qualifying finals in Wisconsin in early January, and you have to come in person.
The benefit of signing up as president means you get to dictate
These are
all
my
these terms.
conditions. These are my conditions, guys. If you
You
want to
build
see
it,
it
they will
happen,
I will take it. I will take it, to be honest.
I can tell you the FMWC requires that the finals is September or October, but
we've
but
got
so yeah,
snow.
you still have to
That's
think about
possible.
that.
We get snow in October here. Oh, so this is a fun fact. And I'm not kidding about this, guys. In Wisconsin, parents have to buy their kids Halloween costumes at least a size or two bigger than their standard size, because you have to be able to fit a snowsuit underneath the Halloween costume. This is not a joke. I'm not kidding. So you have your snowsuit on and your Halloween costume over the top, and you go trick-or-treating in that. So yeah, it might be 20 degrees. It might be 15 degrees. I don't know, but in person in Wisconsin. Let's talk about it.
Imagine what that sounds like for a person who has never seen snow.
Oh, I know.
Like under 0 degrees Celsius, and I've never seen snow. And imagine how it sounds like.
Oh,
I mean, we
it
just
is.
talked about the first Brazilian Winter Olympics winners, so
Yeah.
so now
It's
you're all
pretty
for
freaking
snow.
Yeah, no, but he was raised in Norway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
he's used to the snow. I am not.
as an alpine skiing fan from Austria, just like our national sport, I know him when he still competed for Norway. So
Right. So US chapter 2027 is set. Wisconsin will become.
confirmed.
President
I will
Talking
come, to
about-
be honest.
Talking about local chapters, we know that like at least a couple of them will show up during the year because some new people will be joining and getting interest. Like it happened last year with Chile, for example. So the calendar will be more packed by the end of the season.
Well, I think there are serious rumors about the Australia-New Zealand one confirmed in the chat. I mean, confirmed. Let's say confirmed. And
The Latvian one
is the new
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Latvian one is announced officially, so it's like
Yeah.
June battle and in-person finals. I was just wondering, I didn't see many people from Latvia participating actually, except Andrew G. So I'm wondering whether they have like visibility over critical mass, or they hope
Is
to
it-
get some.
He's
I mean,
gonna
it's
be
an easy way to qualify.
And how does it
All I
work?
know is
Because I
signed
think
up
he
for that, and Jake kicked me out, so foreigners not welcome.
I think he said probably in a LinkedIn post that he's participating, but of course he will not have any access to prize pool or anything. So if he wins the local chapter, he will earn a spot in the day 2 Vegas, maybe. and then what happens? I don't know. So we'll see. We will see.
Actually, he
Maybe
was the only
created it for
Latvian
himself.
participant.
Sorry, say again.
In Battle 2, he was the only Latvian participant. In Battle
Yeah.
2, he go to Las Vegas.
I mean,
I just thought
yeah.
Sorry, Benny. I just thought of what my criteria, my contingency for starting the US chapter is. If we get,
You already committed, Ashley. You cannot. Put
no.
any conditions
Well, I'm
on
going to
top.
add another one. I can say whatever I want now. So, in addition to being hosted in Wisconsin in person, prior to that, I want the midlife crisis age group. You've got the under 25. You've got the masters. Quit forgetting about us, okay? I want that midlife crisis age group because it's mine and I need it. Like, it's not
Find the range of the mid.
well, so the masters I think are 50 and up.
Yeah.
Under 25 is 25 and under.
Yeah.
So I mean 26 to 49.
But
Okay.
I mean, just like as a thought process, you know that everybody that is currently not in the Masters and in the under 25 would then be in this group, including
them.
including
Including
Tim,
Tim,
including
including
Andrew,
Michael.
including Michael.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is they're already qualifying through other paths that are not the age groups. This is all game. This is strategy for me, guys. Like I just need more ways and more buckets to like, and eventually one of them will come through. Like, but if I don't have the qualifying category, I can't do it. So
You could start up the Wisconsin chapter.
these are all possibilities at this point. Golden Retriever lovers, like what? Oh, by the way, my Lego Golden Retriever is in the top corner back there. Fun fact. It only took me 2 weeks to build.
Very nice.
I always joke about starting a Rio de Janeiro chapter, but I would have to face Bruno Merola, and he's usually better than me. So I'm not that excited because of him. So there's competition anywhere. So I think it's impossible.
But I
How's
mean,
the
like, in
Brazilian
terms of-
ranking look like at this moment in time? Is there a ranking first of all, or is it
No,
just
we don't have a
qualification for the?
ranking.
Okay.
No, we have the yellow ranking, but it's accumulated from the other seasons.
Yeah.
I don't have a spot yet, but I'm aiming to have a spot like in Battle 4 at most. We had like 2 battles, but we don't have a ranking like the world rankings.
Yeah, Benny. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, I mean, like in terms of like especially the Latvian chapter that we talked before. I mean, Latvia is like a really small country compared to all of the other countries that have like local chapters at the moment. So I'm like really interested in seeing how many people they can get in like such a small country that actually are going to compete. I mean, I wish that they get a lot of participants, but I kind of doubt it. But maybe they will show us something better.
But so you don't have other
there is-
info like in the local chapter community, you as a local chapter founder, you didn't discuss that. So
No,
you have
it's
the same information I have.
yeah, I have the same information as you. I mean, I have in some like other things a few more ideas, but in terms of the Latvian chapter, I have like the same information that are public. I mean, only
do
like
think that's-
only that they are going to use the platform, which should be able for like all of the other local chapters sometime this year as well. So let's hope.
But I think local chapters are the way to go. I'm checking here in the MEWC 2023. We had only 4 Brazilian participants. One of them was Klinsmann. And then the local chapter started and more people started to join and to know the championship. So I guess this is what they're trying to do with Latvia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
but
example, the first round
big
in Brazil.
the big comparison with Brazil is like 200 million inhabitants versus Latvia 2 million, which
Yeah,
is like
of course.
a huge difference. And I really think that this kind of can happen, but I mean, still in Brazil, I don't know how many participants you had like the first 1 or 2 years, like for the local chapter. I think it was below 100, I think.
50 for the first round. I'm not sure about all the rounds, but the first round was 50 people.
50 people. And I mean, if you would divide this by 100, you get to 0.5 for like, if you kind of take the per population factor in it, which would be a half person, which kind of is like the huge issue. Of course, it will be higher than 0.5 persons, but that's like the issue that I hope the think or that they are able to solve.
It does bring up an interesting question, though, in terms of, right, like imagine, let's say 10 years from now, you have this sprawl of local chapters that have started up since. You've now whittled the population, right? Like the density of people who can qualify straight through by not being part of a local chapter versus those who inherently qualify by default as being part of one and winning that way. It's an interesting thing to think about. It's a good problem to have, I would say, but it is also, it does bring up the question of like, I don't know, at some point merging local chapters so that you don't have such a, I don't know, like what if there was a Liechtenstein chapter, right? Like if all of a sudden, so you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah, you will have probably a similar model that we have right now for the qualifiers in September. So based on how many entries do you have per region, you will have as many spots assigned potentially in the day 2 or whatever the direct qualification would take you to. So probably I would weight them on.
First of all,
yeah,
that's the Liechtenstein.
That's the Liechtenstein flag, and they are.
You would have that, Benny.
And they are part of the Dach chapter. So.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
That's
Germany,
awesome.
Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Luxembourg, and like the German-speaking minority, South
North
Tyrol.
of Italy, like Bolzano. You don't have it.
Yeah, South Tyrol. We lost it in the First World War.
I was born in Bolzano, so I can participate.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
And everybody there still speaks German, so they are like allowed to take part in this. And this year we already have one participant from like that is originally from South Tyrol, from Bozen, that is going to take part. So we don't have one from Liechtenstein, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ashley, that model you're describing there around just, all these local chapters and you have to go in and become a local chapter champion to feed into the overall tournament. Yeah, I mean, that almost sounds like a more like Olympic style model where it's like you win your countries or your local championship and that kind of all feeds in. I'm sure we'll still, no matter what form or how many local chapters grow, there's going to be a lot of pathways to Vegas in the finals through regular qualifier means, but you're right, it definitely could look different if we have a lot more chapters.
You could also expand the whole competition over time, spread it out over more days, more events, have a bigger lead in through online. There's a lot of ways to break it down. But I mean, what are you guys' opinions on that? Like, would you welcome an Olympic style contest or do you think it should be more all versus all?
I think you have to, at some point, you have to divorce it from the active cell because I think they've used the active cell as a way to get people to view the tournament, but for example, they even market it as a training camp. So there's this inherent disconnect between if you're going for a training camp, but you're not training for the competition. It just feels very disjointed at this point. Like it's grown outside of the size of the original pair of shoes it had, for lack of a better analogy, right? But I think once you do that, it opens up so many more doors to be able to have that style of a competition like you're talking about, Jeremy, and really like get more people engaged in things like that. Yeah, I'm excited for the day that happens if it goes there, which is also why I'm excited about Amsterdam, because I think that is sort of a model that
Yeah.
could be what Vegas should be, in my opinion.
I would also love to see like a format of the season pretty much like tennis. So with like tournaments hosted in different places, and you have like major tournaments, or I mean not no major tournaments, whatever. And of course you can still have the all versus all format and the world championship itself or the Olympiad, whatever, but you also have this sort of season eventually in person. So that would be really, really cool to me. Pretty much also chess works like that, I think. So there are plenty of formats, and most of them are like in-person events. Also because anti-cheating at some point will be a thing, I'm afraid, and that will also guarantee that you don't have too many online entries that can basically do whatever they want at this moment. So that would be super cool to actually see, but we require sponsors and bigger prize monies to make it affordable for people.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this was also something that we like had the idea of, like the Dach Excel Open last year, and
this year?
the plan is to have, yeah, the plan is definitely to have it this year as well. But still, since we are not like fixed on a location at the moment, I cannot like commit to anything. But yeah, that's like the idea for what this kind of thing is about. And when I thought about the allowing international competitors for the in-person event and also for like competing additional, I also had like the idea of tennis scene, and I kind of wanted to have the Dach to be the first one to give away something, so we can claim that we were the first and claim ourselves as a Grand Slam in the future. So that's was my idea.
It's very small, but that's the Dach in Leipzig medal. So willing to want actually.
So if it ever be like the Dach finals is like one of the majors with like maybe UK, Brazil, and
cool.
and Madagascar, because this were like the first four or something, then you can call yourself the first in-person Grand Slam winner ever, Lorenzo. So
that's a good idea. But on the other hand, local chapters today, they only give spots for the people that live in that region. So we don't have this flexibility yet. And I think the main path will have to exist forever, because there are some people that are in places that won't be able to form a local chapter, or maybe they are like, even though it's more than 1, 2, or 3 people, it's like too far away, like geographically, from the local chapters, and they would have to have the opportunity to qualify from somewhere without actually having to travel or to go to Europe or to a big capital city or something like that. So I don't see ourselves like in 5 years removing entirely the main path, but having other options, like the European Open is the first one after the local chapters, but I don't see ourselves getting rid of Road to Las Vegas yet.
I think it's a non-exclusive model, right? You can still have like the World Championship, and you can earn your spots through the local chapter or whatever, and every local chapter can offer this international version, open version, whatever of the tournament, and maybe that builds towards a completely different ranking, like the tennis model, to which you qualify for the ATP ranking and then the ATP finals. So you can really mix without having to pick just one of the models in my view. But that, of course, would require for sure more money into the system to allow for that. You could probably have like easier travels for you in Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, or even US, while we can have easier travels to Europe and probably Europe in this moment in time. So really looking
I really think if we would ever get to this kind of system, I would like prefer something like a tennis system with like the few tournaments throughout the year, and you collect points for like a world ranking that you could also collect through the regular World Las Vegas battles, and then have like the finals being the top X persons, people from this qualified there or something like that. But I really think that this is stuff that is like a long time in the future. And I mean, it's a great vision to have, but it's still a long way to go until there.
Define long in your view. How many years?
I don't want to say anything. I can't say anything here.
By 2027.
At least 2028.
I was gonna say, I think
It's not that long, right?
Yeah,
No,
sub
I
three,
mean, that's-
sub 3 years for sure.
No, I mean it's probably 10 years or longer, I would say. And it really depends on how the entirety of, like, especially Microsoft is going to handle this, and how main FMWC is going to handle this, how many viewers we get, how many interested people we get. It really depends on a lot of factors. That
Don't
are
forget about the
not really-
documentary though, too. Like that's
Yeah.
gonna be a force multiplier for sure. In my opinion, I'm very interested to see sort of just the interest that garners, because there's a plateau too, right? There's an initial clip or a fall off. You see a lot of people after Dim won last year, right? There's initial surge in round one of people that participate, and then there's the people who got done with it and went, Jesus Christ, I'm never doing that again, and they're not participating anymore. But I think like the more you can kind of get that spark and the newer generations and things like that to participate, I think that's what helps to fuel the things like that for growth and changing the flexibility of what these things look like in the future and how fast they come.
Yeah, I really think, we were talking about escape velocity before, and this is another area where we do sort of have a continually growing base of excitement. I think even our prize pool for Vegas this year being at 100K, that's huge. That's so much more than last year or any other year before. Back at, in one of the earlier like documentary films, there's a clip of Andrew or maybe Dim talking about Andrew getting excited to potentially one day hand out $1 million check in Vegas. And, now that's only 10 times as large as what the current prize pool is. So, at this rate, if we're able to sustain this, it's becoming more possible. We're not there yet.
I don't want to play down the hype, but I think we have a long way to go to have like a lot of local chapters and to have like also, I think we have to 50x it to get like $2 million winner check, since the overall prize is decided by everyone. And also if you take a look at like what you get to as a winner, for example, for Amsterdam. So if I calculate all my travel expenses and I'm in a country next to Netherlands, if I calculate all my travel expenses, even if I would win, it would like only cover the costs. And also for Vegas, if you are like on third place or something like that, if you are not from the US or from Canada, the prize money is currently your travel expenses, if you get any. So there's a long way to go. And also if we take a look at the growth from like a competitor and from a viewer perspective and everything, I think the video from Vegas got like less views than in the previous years. And also I think we had like 30% more competitors compared to last year. So at this growth rate, we would need like 10 years to even have like multiple European events or something in that sort.
I was more bullish probably a couple of years ago about the growth of the prize pool, but still it was very good to see it growing this year. But probably I was assuming this was going like clearly with a growth throughout the years, but I don't think this thing might be very linear in terms of growth. So all you need is probably really one event or one visibility like happening, and you basically maybe 3x or 4x overnight. So I don't know, the documentary goes viral and all of a sudden you get a very big sponsor for $500,000, I don't know, and that way it's a huge step up towards that objective. But of course, it can also not happen at all. So we will have to wait and just stick to our passion at the moment, which is, I think, the main reason we are all here, because it's not for the money for sure. But yeah, I think I agree it's possible. I was hoping this could come sooner, but I'm not so sure anymore. It will come in a 2 or 3 years horizon, which was my early bet, like having 2 or 3 X factor from year over year. It's not really happening, so I'm now relying on like one big lucky event of visibility, and boom, you get it overnight. We will have to see.
And I think the documentary could be like a huge thing into this like equation. And I think if this documentary then gets like viral and Netflix or Amazon get like the idea, I think that's like the idea that they are going to movie festivals and then like from the festivals hypothetically to streaming platforms and stuff like that. And if it goes there, it could hypothetically go viral. But yeah, let's keep optimistic and hope for the best. But we never know.
Yeah, I think in terms of people watching the finals or in general the interest in the event, I think this works really well in terms of how this is a thing, right? The Excel World Championship exists. That is a huge hook for the first time you see it, but then the wow effect is gone, right? So you need a new angle to position it, which I think we're a bit missing at this stage, because Excel World Championship is a thing. It's now gone. So more or less everyone have seen that. So we need something new or fresh to position it. I always like the comparison to chess, because chess was not so mainstream before COVID. Then we had like the what's the call of the Netflix series? The Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, yeah.
Yeah, and it suddenly like boomed out of nowhere just because of a Netflix series. So it might be the same for us in terms of that. I'm not sure actually, because chess was much more established as compared to the Excel World Championship, but I see something similar, right? So we need probably a new angle to get more views and more interest.
So after the documentary, we need a drama based on Microsoft Excel World Championship.
I'm gonna bite my tongue and just say that I'm glad they were only in Utah, like in the morning for one of the days. Like, yeah, buddy, that's right.
Yeah, I agree with every comment, by the way.
Harry had a great comment before I think we missed. That was something to the effect of like, if you want to up the ante in your training, if you don't get level 7, you have to eat a chili pepper, or like the negative feedback aspect of getting better at what you do. Like, oh, well, electric shock. Like, there it is. Yes. Like, oh, that's actually kind of an interesting concept.
I mean, maybe the way to go is rank Excel, but
I think one aspect they could learn from the Olympics from is just having a lot more of the personal backstories. I mean, just thinking about your trailer for the documentary, Lorenzo, the parts that you're featured in, it's like drums up a much more personal connection. So like maybe you don't know everything that's happening on screen in Excel, but if you have a connection to the participants, you have an investment in what happens. You know, a lot of people right now are, I think, riding that wave of like, who are the champions? We know Andrew, we know Dim, we know Jarman, but to expand that and have kind of backstories, that could be one element for, I don't know, expanded interest, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that. I was expecting to see some clip from Dim or I don't know, Michael or Andrew. So not sure why they published one around me as first one, but it was great to be in such a, I don't know how to call it, film documentary without having murdered anyone. I think it's a big achievement. So I'm pretty proud of that. It was very, very weird because, you know, seeing you like sitting in the usual Netflix chair, giving the interview in front of the camera, it's super weird feeling. So I'm looking forward to see what they put together. I had a chat with them a couple of days ago, and they're like in the middle of the review of the footage they shot and the actual putting together all the contents. So it's a long way until the product is done, but they're on it. So yeah, will be amazing to see that on Netflix. Let's see if we can actually have the result. Oh, guys, it has been 1 hour and a half. Time flies literally when we have this discussion, and we didn't even touch on like guessing to reduce like the luck factor in the games, or lambda bans, for example, which might be another hot topic.
And we didn't really discuss the cases, the road to Las Vegas and the Brazilian local chapter. But it was interesting. It went to unexpected ways, the conversation, but it's been interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a bit the point of the launch, right? But Road to Las Vegas was Emil's case, the memory one, which I liked a lot, to be honest. But I still think that case design should be like a separate skill as opposed to point engineering design or whatever level engineering design. So to avoid like guessing, to make sure the increase in difficulties is consistent. So literally two different things. Should potentially have different profiles to do that. And what was the Brazil case? Remind me. The Klinsmann
Well,
one?
the match case though. Oh yeah, that was good. Sorry, the match case. I would be very curious to know when Emil's actually created that case, because that is an interesting thing too, right? Because as we've heard, there's a lot of cases that are in the queue or the funnel, and pre-platform, a case like that would have gone over extremely well because you didn't have the immediate feedback. So I think the nature of putting it on the platform where you have that, it changes sort of the composition of how you get points. I don't think people would have scored as well had it just been on the traditional flexi quiz one, because you didn't have that, right? So I think that's something they have to take into consideration when they're picking cases now is...
But you don't have like feedback like during the Road to Las Vegas battle as like the regular solver, not in the live stream.
I agree, but I think so many more people have that mindset now, and it wasn't something that existed as pervasively several years ago. So not as many people would have tried it, right? But I think that's something that they have to, that's a piece that they have to take into consideration when they're assessing the applicability of a case for current state if it was written even more than a year ago prior to having the platform.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but if you still, even if you think that this would be like written long ago, I think the bigger difference is like probably difficulty, and maybe levels 1 to 6 were already written a longer time ago, and they decided levels 1 to 6 would be too easy nowadays, so they slapped another level 7 on it, something like that. I could imagine if this case would have been written a longer time ago, but from like the pure guessing and luck perspective, if fewer people would have guessed, then the plateau after level 6 at bonuses 1 to 4 would be even higher, because everybody would still be there without like the differentiator being guesses.
The one thing that I liked in case design that was done in the number one fan, I guess it was the PM section, was the one that you had regions, and for like 15 of the 20 levels, you had like easier regions, and then just for the 5 last questions, you had to do a circle. So I guess this type of different mechanics with a little difficulty increase inside of a level is a great thing for that differentiators. It's not applicable for all cases, of course, but I think this can help to differentiate who was like stuck in level 5 or tried to do level 6 and didn't get any points anyway, or the guesses, etc., etc.
Yeah, and by the way, in my view, it's very easy to limit guesses without having like negative points or whatever. You just do the Brazilian style. You need to concat like, I don't know, player 3, 8th round, 20 cards, that's it. So, or even the last card played, whatever. I think it's really simple to come up with some convoluted answers to avoid that, and you don't need to introduce weird rules or whatever. That's why I say probably one thing is to take care of the case design, make it beautiful, make it a great case, and then someone else can just pick the answers and change those to avoid guessing, review the difficulty increase, also because like fresh eyes would be better to do that as opposed to the case author itself. So it's probably at, I don't know, 30 minutes QA job to be done after case design. What do you think?
So Lorenzo, what's your opinion then on how to make distinguishing like scoring for the whole band of people who get stuck at level 6?
Well, that comes down to level 6 difficulty, I think, because either you make like a level 7, which you don't need to fully solve to get points on the board. So like you could be good with a partial model, and then the differentiator is who gets to level 6, who gets to level 7 partially, and who gets to level 7 fully, and eventually the time. Or you make harder level 6, harder level 5, because at this point in time, levels typically 1 to 3 are super easy to have everyone some points done on the board, and then level 4 gets significantly harder, level 5 is even harder. And so I think you need either to anticipate the ramp up in difficulty or to allow some partial solves for level 6, 7, whatever is the very hard level of the case. At least that's my take. So that's why I say one thing is to design the case, you have the mechanics, you have the core logic, and then someone else just takes care of, okay, how do we actually distribute the points across the case, and how do we make sure it's non-guessable to avoid any sort of luck factor in it, which I think we are all tired of seeing in determining if you're first or top 5 or top 20 or top 30 or top 40, because it really makes a difference at this point. It's like 20 points in the season ranking, which is a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a ranking that keeps you, that will stay in there for the seeding, versus a ranking that is irrelevant because it won't be a top 5 result probably, if you're going for like a top 8 or top 32 seed.
Yeah, I still don't think it will make a difference in terms of being a top 32 or not being a top 32, but between like being top 20 or top 15 or top 10, top 7, top 6, yes, it will make the difference based on how many times you were lucky in terms of guessing, and that's not really what we want, I think, and it's a really easy fix in my view. So
I do wish there was because yesterday's case with people getting tripped up on level 4, I do wish there was almost like one of the examples, but it's that example 2 would be you have to solve it and it'll validate your string, right? Like in that. So the green circle that you get on when you get the case with the answers, right? I think there should be some aspect of that in the file itself so that you can test the output, because you don't have the feedback on the platform, because space or no space, right? That shouldn't be the deciding factor on whether somebody gets points or not, right? To me, if you've built a model that produces the correct answer, but because of a date issue or a space or what have you, should have some way to validate that rather than just going, well, I guess I'm wrong.
I think for like the Road to Las Vegas events, they are pretty. I mean, if yesterday's case would have been a Road to Las Vegas event, I'm pretty sure they would have been fine with answers with player and a blank, and with player without the blank, as we have seen with the Bell Trophy discussion, which we haven't even talked about in this specific the launch, even though it was like the biggest topic after the battle. So I think they are pretty lenient or thing with that if you don't have like immediate feedback on the platform.
In Brazilian local chapters, they don't accept. So having a space wrong and lander and Klinsmann, but more lander, is very known of having like levels that are unguessable because of the concatenations that Lorenzo mentioned earlier. but they do not accept like if you get like the space wrong or something like that.
Yeah,
well,
but
if the example is right,
wrong.
you can validate against the example. I think
Yeah.
yesterday issue was probably because it was a free case, so no one actually tested it properly. It's something you can really spot by some basic QA, I think. And then eventually you can have an extra layer of assurance by making, I don't know, robust logic in the platform to actually accept or trim whatever spaces you want to do. But I think doesn't need to happen in the first place, but of course it was a free case, so it's totally fine. And yeah, you should test it against the example answer in my view.
And on that note, I think something that I don't think is like pretty good with the memory case that the example has like a shorter length. I think it's fine if like all of the different games have like different length of the input, but I don't like that only the example is like 5 or 6 numbers of input, and then all of the levels have like 200 numbers of input, because this simply is something completely different for your model.
Yeah. And by the way, I agree with Harry point. I was a fan of the 5 levels set up, the old one, but we're actually seeing some cases with even more levels than 7. I think, Julian, you shared the DAC free case with 10 levels, I think it was, and also the UK shared a similar one. So yeah, I appreciate those are experiments, but I agree. I mean, also like the choice of the levels to be solved will play a heavier role if we go towards that direction, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest. But yeah,
More reading.
yeah, exactly. More reading, more like fixed costs because you need to switch levels to paste more hours in the platform. More things can go wrong. So I don't know.
Yeah, only thing
I mean,
I'd say
I
on
think
that
if you
is if you have more levels, I mean, sometimes what we've seen is that if level, someone submits a case and their level 4 or 5 is really difficult, maybe they bump out the last few levels, make that a level 7, and make levels 5 and 6 ones that more build up to that logic. I think in both of these last cases, Kareem's case from yesterday with the Mega-Elimination and also the memory game case, the jump to the next question, level 7 in memory game, level 4 in Kareem's case, it's kind of introduced so many different pieces of logic that, to Ashley's point, there wasn't a benchmark for you to stop and check your logic for all those different things. Whereas if you had introduced them over maybe 2 or 3 different levels, then you do have people getting partial points for building up to that solution and ultimately reaching the full solution if they're able to.
Yeah, I agree. If memory case would have been an 8-level case, not a 7-level, but an 8-level case with like level 7 and level 8, like so current level 7 would then be level 8 and level 7 would be level 8 or current level 7 minus a few of the things. I think this would have been much better in terms of scoring difficulty or scoring plateau kind of things.
Well, you can also not introduce a new level, but you can also dilute a bit of the logic which you had in level 7 in the previous ones, right? Because literally sometimes level 2 or 3 or 4 are basically unrelated to the final logic you're going to build with the harder levels. They seem to be there just to have some points on the board, to be honest, for beginners, which is fine on one end, but on the other end, it's probably not great towards building this increasing difficulty.
On the other hand, the earlier levels, you could also think of like a speed challenge, because it could make a difference also for experienced players that will certainly get them. If you spend like on like levels 1 to 4, do you spend like 2 minutes on them, or do you spend like 7 minutes on them? So it could be, and this is like also a skill, how fast can you understand it? How fast can you type out the formula? How fast and how efficiently is like your solution also to the earlier levels? I really think that this is also a valuable skill set. So
what if we just didn't? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What if we just didn't have a time limit? First one to finish, or not first one to finish, just finish the case. Your time is your score.
Yeah, I think we need to combine that with the timestamp as opposed to the stop early button, right? Otherwise, it's gonna be some, I don't know, misaligned incentives on speed versus full solve.
No, I think what Jeremy is like suggesting there's like literally no time limit, and if you, right,
Right,
an arbitrary high time limit of like 6 hours or something, and it's just whenever you solve the case. But I really think that in cases where there's like an extremely hard level 7 case, the only thing that really matters is like how good do you solve level 7. Because for example, like in the memory case, if you have solved levels 1 to 6 in like 10 minutes or 50 minutes, and then it would take you like 45 minutes to solve level 7, you would have a combined score of 1 hour. And if it would take you like 31 minutes to solve levels 1 to 6, and then 29 minutes for level 7, you would be better. And even though in like the earlier way, because you are slower in like the proper levels, or like the levels 1 to 6, it would be a better result still. I think
I guess another solution would be keeping track of answers in the levels, so time wouldn't be the submit time, but the time that you reach the last level wherever you reached. Like
that's the thing.
And then you have to make some decisions, of course, but we wouldn't have like many people tied with 30 minutes, for example.
I like that idea a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I think we all love this idea, to be honest. We just need to wait that we implement it in the platform, because
and Brazil platform is ready to implement that, actually. Leander's backend has like the time that we pasted each one of the levels.
Yeah, he already has the infrastructure, because if he's able to be like the chart with the progressive points,
yeah,
it means he's keeping track of the timestamps. So it's pretty easy.
I don't think he keeps track about levels. I think he keeps track about point changes, regardless of the levels.
Yeah,
and that's what you need. You don't need levels; you need points. So it's
time of the last point change would be then that tiebreaker time instead of when you submit.
But I don't think Brazil uses that, but its infrastructure is ready to use.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that, but it's probably not live. This is a very interesting question, which I put on screen, and I don't have an answer, to be honest. So I will be curious to see what do you think.
I said last year in the first launch, our robot will get important this year. Will get very important this year. So I was right last year, but I don't have a specific prediction for this year.
Experimentation. I think like format, innovation, and experimentation on the FMWC teams end. Like they're getting. I love how integrated Jade has become with the community, because it has significantly dropped the time from the feedback loop, right? Like we say something in passing in the WhatsApp chat, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, by the way, it's implemented." We're like, what? So I think it just opens the door for even the introduction of Amsterdam and the new case format, or the new competition formats and things like that. Like I love where they're going with the being willing to try and experiment and play with different things, knowing that they're going to get that feedback from us. Therefore, it's something that's worth putting the time and effort into to see what works and to try different things.
My hot prediction is I have one. This might be the year of non-Excel solves. Python or VBA. You don't think so?
Well, Python might be. VBA, I would suggest not, because I think I did some rounds with VBA, especially in the beginning, because I wasn't aware of data tables. So I solved my first 2 cases. They were MACC cases, so I had a lot of time with VBA, and it was doable. But I would have been way faster with the current data table and so on solution. So Python might be. We saw this with Jesper, but VBA, I would say, yeah, it's difficult. And also, I think Jesper told us that it's really dependent on the case if he can score high or not. So I think it's a dangerous route to go when you say, okay, let's do it only in Python, or
The capacity is a huge limiting factor too. Like I use Python every single day, basically, in my professional life, if you will, and I'm very fluent in it. And I am terrified of becoming dependent on it as an implementation in Excel to solve cases, because your compute capacity is very, very tricky. And like I even had to set up my own enterprise license, basically, just to be able to buy more to practice to see if the juice was worth the squeeze. And it's just the setup and the maintenance of that is a limiting factor for, I would say, 95% of people who want to go that route. And I wouldn't even use it in competition because, again, my compute runs out in the middle of it. I'm screwed. Like there is no coming back from that. So that's the big limiting factor for me.
Year of native copilots, we'll see.
Copilot is banned, so unfortunate.
Yeah, I really agree with, I think, your point around programming languages or VBA in general. Solver sheets, yeah, I have one.
The setup, I think that's a very good point. Like your prepared workbook that you come in with. I've been thinking about this a lot more recently, especially since Eric Ashton has an amazing sort of initial setup workbook that he has, and just thinking about the prep on the front end going in with like a Swiss Army knife, it to me is where I think there's a lot of payoff in that for those who don't have as quick of a reflex in being able to think through solutions. Like if I already have something there, I know how to do it, I just can't come up with it on the fly. So if I can pull it from somewhere that's already in my toolkit, like it's just a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah, to me, it's more like a workflow optimization rather than something that really speeds me up in terms of problem solving, because that will stay, of course. But yeah, I see a lot of probably advantages in having a good infrastructure in place, conscious that it could also potentially backfire, because the more complex it becomes, the more way you can fuck it up during the competition. So it's really fragile in some way. So you need to be very careful to balance, say, optimization with reliability, so to speak.
Yeah.
And just when you have a good system in place is when they'll probably like change it up and change the format of the input.
I've been thinking of that too. I'm like, the day has to be coming where everything is not in column B and everything is not labeled level. Like,
please don't say that out loud.
It has to be. Like, I don't know. It has to be.
I would have to write probably 10,000 line of codes if that happens. So please.
I was surprised that we still didn't have a case with things not in column B and inputs not in column G. I'm very surprised because I was working out the Eric Ashton Lambda to try to adapt to Portuguese, and it's very complex. And I was like, okay, this is not the way to go for me. But at the same time, studying it, I've seen, okay, but it really is column dependent. Like everything in column B, everything in column G, the names of the examples, the level 1, etc. So I'm really surprised that it never happened.
I will say, well, actually, go ahead, Julian. Yeah, you've been waiting.
Actually, they had one case where there was a little mix-up. It was the 2024 finals case where you had like I think that it was the World of Warcraft thing, and there was like
carryover information.
Yeah. 3 columns next to the answer column. So actually, that was a little bit of a mix-up. I adapted some of my setup to this, but I hope that they will stick to this format they have for now. So I'm also on Lorenzo's team. I would have to rewrite at least a bit to adapt to this.
Yeah, I will not
When-
like it, to be honest, because it will be purely done to break all existing infrastructure. And I think the competition might be more on the problem solving aspect of it. So um, appreciate it could happen at some
I
point.
honestly think there's a legitimate like point to say like, well, how adaptable are you? Yeah, we just broke all your macros. Figure it out.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
number weighing? Like
Exactly.
Okay, so when we were in Utah, after we had like mini, because obviously we're nerds, right? Like we had mini Excel tournaments, and Benny played Drunk Excel one night. And
I won.
He actually did. It was actually incredibly impressive how he was able. Anyways, we won't get into that. What's happened in Utah stays in Utah. But we did have Michael Jarman actually did. And did Harry co-author it? Anyways, he built a case for it for us to play, and was based on a game called Number Weighing, which is not something that is known in the US, but apparently was a game show in the UK in the 70s or 80s, maybe. Anyway, the point of this is to say he mirrored worksheets at one point. So instead of reading left to right, you had to know how to go into the settings, flip it back, so that you were, or you could just reverse your formula so that it read right to left instead of left to right. And it was a change up of the format, and the tabs go all to one side, and it was very disarming, but it was fun for that reason. Okay, there you go. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jack. That makes more sense.
Actually, Dennis in Brazil built a case, but it was not left to right, it was up to down. So the question one was the last one based on Stranger Things. And then all of a sudden,
like the upside down?
Yeah, so all of a sudden, and the structures were left to right, but the numbers were upside down, which was very crazy. And all of a sudden, you left I don't know the name in English, the inverted roller or something like that. And then you went to the case with the normal format, and then you fell again, and then the reverse format. It was really crazy. I think it's only in Portuguese by now. Cool. But it's a really crazy case.
See, I love that idea. I love the idea of it being like an old school Mario inside the spreadsheets, like where you're going down tunnels in a column and you're popping out. It's not Portals like, but that mentality of like being a game within a game. That's cool. I didn't know about that case game. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can try Modelario. You will not have fun for sure because it's a super hard case, but you will experience a bit of that.
I've committed to doing all 176 cases by the time I leave for London on May 15th. So apparently I'm going to have to do it at some point. So we'll see when that happens. Or maybe I just won't come if I end up running into that. That's a joke. I will be coming. I'm very excited.
Right, guys.
The one thing, just a quick remark. The one thing that I don't think it will be a trend, but we discussed earlier, and for my game, and I would love to be a trend, would be cases with testing more than one skill. So as Benny said earlier, like maps and data, or games and mathematics, or something like that, because I think testing different skills actually the results tend to be more like, not fair because all the results are fair, but anyway, more balanced between like someone that is not that good in map cases, but it's like very good in data cases, or the other way around, or something like that. So Battle Tree last year was the Harry case, and it was independent levels, and I really like that. So I would like to see more cases with, I wouldn't say independent levels, but at least like 2 models or something like that.
Yeah, I think the mixed case with different levels are always good in some way. So I agree with that. Would make the cases much more. Yeah, you could have like balanced performance if you don't like peak in one of the areas, or the other way around. So I agree with that, absolutely.
Agree as well. And also you do not get stuck probably, because if you get stuck on level 6, you could move to level 7, which is like a different skill set, and you should go to level 7, for example. LC Core last year, but that's a different topic.
Yeah. Right, guys, that's been almost 2 hours, and I barely noticed it, to be honest. It's been an amazing conversation. Any closing thoughts before closing this lounge?
One other thing we didn't
Calling
mention.
this- Go ahead.
One other thing we didn't mention was Fantasy Excel, which is also new this year, and another pretty exciting thing that many competitors are following along with. I think there's 50 teams where 50 people are drafting Excel competitors onto their teams and going out and rooting for these players every single week. So I think that's been really exciting to see, and more to come on that one. I'm excited.
I think we could potentially have an entire lounge on that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that at some point. Yeah, maybe mid-season with a bit more results and knowledge of the mechanics. Definitely up for that.
Count me in.
I feel like if you're gonna call this the lounge, we should have like cigars. We should be smoking, drinking.
Totally up for that. I mean, I don't smoke, so but if you wanna do that, no one is gonna stop you. So for the moment, I just put the sign here, so that's
I
why
saw that last time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know how long you've had that, but that's a very nice touch.
Yeah, I did like custom made, and I thought it was very big, but actually it's pretty small, so I would probably have to buy a bigger one to make it very visible.
Move it closer.
Yeah, that's a bit complex. But like hanging mid.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Amazing chat as always. Thank you very much for participating. I think we will for sure have a new one after the March events, and probably one on the fantasy game. Amazing. Again, thanks everybody, and we'll see you soon in other lounges.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for hosting.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Lorenzo.
Bye. Thank you.